UFC Apex goes down this weekend. Taira versus Hyung Sung Park. Let's go. We're going to be breaking down the card from the prelims to the main event. Let's get into it. All right, first up, we got Taira Rodriguez versus Caitlin Souza. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a scrap at the women's strawweight division. I think both of them are coming off of a loss, actually. Let me see if I'm right about that. No, actually, Pierre is coming off of a win. Caitlin's coming off of a loss to Angela Hill. Unanimous decision from Hill. Or no, maybe split decision. Either way, I think it was a split decision because that's usually how Angela Hill wins or loses her fights. Piera has a record of 10-2. Caitlin has a record of 15-5. So Caitlin is a little bit more beatable than Piera, right? It's really going to come down to who can implement their game plan. I think Caitlin is a little bit more like gritty, a little bit more like a scrappier fighter than Piera. She's going to bring the fight. But if you could start, implementing your game plan against her, shutting her shit down, she's really beatable, I'm not too familiar with Piera Rodriguez, her game. I don't know if she's like a really good grappler, if she's a really good striker. I just know Caitlin Souza is like really dangerous on the feet. She's kind of like a Claudia, or not Claudia Gadeo. What's the other one? The little chick. I'm forgetting her name, but she's like one of those little mini powerhouses out of Brazil. You know what I mean? And she looks scary. I think I'm gonna go Piera Rodriguez by decision. It's gonna be tough. If she fights her on the feet, she could get hit with some really strong power punches. But I think she's going to mix it up, use her takedowns, and, use her clinch, put her against the cage, just break her. Kind of like what Angela Hill does, just put the volume on her, put her up against the cage, and just don't let Caitlin get comfortable, So I'm going Piera for the first one. Next up, we got Rafael Etsevin versus Felipe Bunez. This is going to be a really good fight. Felipe is good on the ground. Rafael is good on the feet. So I'm going to go with Rafael because he's gonna be able to keep Felipe off of his legs because he does have a background in jiu-jitsu as well. But I think he's a little more dangerous on the feet than Felipe is. He's knocked out some really good guys. He's beaten some really good guys. He's beaten Aguilera and he's beaten Johnson, who are both really good on the feet. So I'm thinking Rafael's gonna take this one. What's his name? Bunez is coming off of a submission win though, so he is dangerous if he gets you to the ground. And he has a Dragon Ball tattoo on his arm, so there's a brownie points right there for him. But I think Rafael gets this done by decision or knockout. Next up, we got Austin Banshee and John Yanis. This one's up. Really, it's a gimme fight for either one of these guys. John Yanis making his UFC debut. Austin Banshee coming off of a loss to Christian Rodriguez, who was really good for a bantamweight. Or was it at featherweight when they fought? I'm not sure. But I do think Austin Banshee is going to be taking the win here. John Yanis coming into his UFC debut. He's been in MMA for a long time. So I think Austin Banshee's a little younger. I think he's going to get the job done, probably by decision. I'm not really too familiar with how good he is on the ground or on the feet or how his finishing prowess is. We'll see this weekend, but I'm going to go Austin Banshee by decision. Next up, we got Nick Klein versus Andre Pulev. Now, this one's another kind of gimme fight. I think Nick Klein's fought the better people. Andre, I think this is his second fight in the UFC. So it really just depends on who shows up this night. Again, two guys who really haven't made a name for themselves. Nick Klein is he's kind of good everywhere. He's got submissions. He's got striking, not the best striking. He's coming off of a loss from Abdul Malik, who's really good. And then Andre Pulev is coming off of a loss against Duncan by decision, who's okay, right? Even though it was a decision, he didn't get, he didn't get KO'd like Nick Klein's last fight. So that's something right there, right? But I'm thinking this one's going to be a little bit of a scrap. Probably Andre pulls it out with the all-round, just utilizing more wrestling, utilizing, better strikes. I think he gets the job done. You can't, go wrong against the Russians. But this is where the card takes a turn and it starts to get better. Okay, we got Rodolfo Vieira versus Tresean Gore. I don't know why these guys are on the prelims, especially the next prelim fight, compared to some of these fights up here on the main card. UFC's been doing that lately. All year, the card placement, the fight placement on the card has been really weird. I get that you put exciting fights on the prelims to get people to watch the main card, but then when the main card is kind of got some stinkers on it, where you're just like, why are these guys on the main card? They should definitely be in the prelims? I don't know. I'm not the matchmakers. I'm not, in the UFC business, but I don't think these guys, especially these four, should be in the prelims. Maybe one of them for the like Adolfo Vieira and Tresean Gore. I wouldn't mind them being the prelim headline, but definitely Hinya Nakamura and Nathan Fletcher. That's gonna be a good fight. Put that on the main card. Put that in the first fight on the main card instead of Danny Silva and Kevin Vallejos. Put that in the prelim right before the featured prelim. So. But anyway, Adolfo Vieira versus Tresean Gore. Adolfo Vieira might get pieced up on the feet if he can't get the fight to the ground. Tresean Gore definitely will get pieced up on the ground if Adolfo Vieira is able to take him there and, take him into the deep waters and, get his jiu-jitsu going. I do think Adolfo Vieira is a little saucy, so I don't really, I don't really go for those guys who are just kind of like... He's coming from the BJJ world, and a lot of the BJJ guys are saucy. I think Marcus Buchecha is saucy. So I'm going to go for Tresean Gore. Hopefully he gets the job done by knockout. All he needs to do is just keep Adolfo Vieira off his legs. If you can keep him off his legs, make him work, Adolfo's going to gas. But Tresean Gore is very beatable. This one is up in the air, but I'm hoping Tresean Gore pulls out the win. Just because I'm not really a big fan of Adolfo Vieira. But I could see him taking him down, getting submission, second, third round. Maybe right away. I don't know if he's going to do it in the first round just because Tresean Gore is going to have a lot of energy. He's really strong. He's not the worst when it comes to, jiu-jitsu. But let's see who his last loss is. He hasn't – he's been – no. He won by submission. He's won 2 by submission. So, yeah, he's coming off of a TKO loss from Tulio, but – I don't think Adolfo Vieira is going to give him any problems on the feet. Adolfo Vieira is kind of up and down as well. His last loss is coming from Petrosky, who's like not the greatest ground guy either, but Adolfo couldn't get the job done. He submitted Petrosian with 12 seconds left in the first round, submitted Brundage, but then he loses to Petrosky, who's not that great on the ground either, and he probably just didn't let Adolfo get off on the jiu-jitsu. So I'm going to go Tresean Gore with that one. Next up, we got Hinya Nakamura versus Nathan Fletcher. I'm going to go Hinya Nakamura. This dude's dangerous everywhere. He's really good. They're both really good. But I think Hinya Nakamura's fought tougher people. He's fought higher level competition, and he's beaten them pretty decisively. Nathan Fletcher's good, though. This is going to be a good scrap. This is a sleeper scrap right here. They're both coming off of a loss, but I do think Hinya Nakamura learned from his last fight against Gafurov, who was pretty much a little bit better everywhere, especially the grappling exchanges. I think Nathan's going to want to strike with them, which I think is going to play into Nakamura's favor. So I'm going Nakamura either by late TKO or a 3-round decision, either 29-28 or 30-27. Now, bringing into the co-main or the main card, Kevin Vallejos versus Danny Silva. I'm going Kevin Vallejos by knockout, whether it's second or third round, maybe first round. Danny Silva, he's game though. He's competitive. He wins a lot by decision, and he doesn't have the best striking. Kevin Vallejos, on the other hand, he has really good striking. So I'm going to go Kevin Vallejos. I think he can keep Danny Silva off his legs, put the pressure on him with the feet. And the Argentinians, man, they're pretty good everywhere. A lot of the Argentinians that are fighting, they're good on the feet, they're good on the ground. They know how to create scrambles, create scraps. So I'm going Kevin Vallejos, TKO, round 2, round 3 maybe. And then next up, we got Neil Magny versus Dos Santos. I'm going Dos Santos. I think Neil Magny's on his way out. This is going to be like his make-or-break fight. Like, if he wins, cool. He might have a couple fights left in him. If he loses, I think he's just done. He should be done anyway, unless he just has a couple more fights on his contract. And then, he just finishes out the contract. But who knows? I think Dos Santos is, an up-and-comer. He's young in the game. He's got a little bit better striking, a little bit better on the... But the thing is, with Dos Santos, his past 2 losses are to black dudes. So just keep that in mind. Neil Magny is a black guy, and so this doesn't look good for Dos Santos. I'm not kidding. His past 2 losses come from Njokuani and Randy Brown. He just got knocked out by Njokuani. So if Neil Magny could get in there and show off that blackness, he could win. No, I'm totally kidding, obviously. But Neil Magny, he's up and down. He's lost to Prates in a KO. He lost to Morales in a KO. He beat Mike Mallet in KO round 3. But super shoddy because he beats guys like Philip Rowe, and then he loses, to Machado by a decision, which isn't bad. Then he beats Mallet by KO, but then he loses very decisively to Morales and Prates by KO. So I think if Dos Anjos goes in there, just puts the pressure on him, just get him out early, And yeah, have an early night at the office. Next up, we got Carol Rosa versus Nora Cornole. I think this should definitely be like in the prelims. I don't know why this fight is, in the main card. Not being sexist, I'm just saying this is definitely two kind of no names in a shitty women's division. Put them in the prelims. We don't need this in the main event or in the main card. Whatever. I'm gonna talk my shit. Feel how you feel about it, but I think Carol Rosa is gonna win. She's a little bit better everywhere. I think she's better on the ground, better on the feet. She's coming off of a loss by decision, but she's beating some really good girls, and she was on a pretty good. No, she won one, lost one, and then she went on a little streak, and then she lost one to Perez. But this French girl, actually the French female fighters aren't that bad. They're actually really good on the feet, and she's coming off of a win. By submission, actually. Lost a split decision by Cavalcanti, who's pretty good. And then she beat Mullins by second round TKO. So, I don't know. This one's up in the air. You could honestly pick either one of them. I'm going to go Carol. I think she's going to have the more experience. And but I don't know. Who knows, man? Nora, she could come in younger, fresher, and beat Carol. Piece her up on the feet. Next up, we got Elvis Brenner and Esteban Ribovics. Now, this is another fight that could have easily just been on the prelims. I think Ribovics is going to win. He has a big knockout victory over Terrence McKinney. And Elvis Brenner, he's kind of up and down too. But they're both coming off of a loss. He's coming off of a loss against Alvarez, and then Oralby, who's actually really good. And then Ribovics is coming off of a loss against Hawk Pross by split decision. So that fight could have went either way, and he's beat Zellhuber and McKinney, who are two very good, very dangerous lightweights. So I'm going to go Ribovics. This one's going to be a scrap, though. This one is going to be really good. It's going to be a good fight. Next up, we got Matthews Rebecki versus Chris Duncan, another fight that could have easily been on the prelims. Rebecki, I think, is going to have better, he's going to be a little bit better everywhere, and he's been in fucking wars, and it doesn't look like it. Like, every time he comes out to fight, he looks fresh, he looks good. It doesn't look like his last fight was an absolute 3-round war with another top prospect. Chris Duncan is a little chinny. I think he's a little bit lacking in the striking and the wrestling department. I think Rebecki's just going to have his way with them on the feet, on the ground as well. So I'm going Rebecki, probably by decision or TKO from ground and pound, or maybe a submission. We'll see. We could see a submission from Rebecki. I don't know. We'll see. Next up, main event, we got Taira versus Hyung-Sung Park. So I'm thinking Taira. He did have a different opponent. Park's taking this on a week notice, and he's not ranked. And he strictly goes out there and just throws leather and just knocks dudes out. That is, concerning for Taira, because we have seen Taira a little hurt on the feet before. But Taira's so good on the ground. I can see him going in there, just schooling Park on the ground, maybe getting caught here and there on the feet, but maybe not, right? He's kind of like tricky. It's hard to hit him because he's so good at getting the takedown, mixing up his striking to takedowns. But Hyung-Sung Park, this is a big test for him. He's not ranked, coming in, taking over a main event spot. That might play a factor in this. I know it's for sure probably going to play a factor into this fight. Taira's coming in off of a loss, though, right? So I do think this is a perfect fight for him to come in and show everyone that, hey, y'all must have forgot this dude's not ranked. I only fight ranked guys. He's coming off a split decision loss against Royval, which is absolutely, that's a great performance. He's 16-1. Hyung-Sung Park's 10-0 with a lot of KOs. So he is dangerous. He needs to go in there and watch that Royval fight and see where Royval messed up in the takedown and the clinching, and see where he can capitalize where Royval couldn't. So yeah, I'm going Taira. I think he's going to get a submission victory. That is going to be my picks for this weekend's bout. It's going to be a sleeper card. It's going to be in the Apex. Going to be a good fight. Going to be lots of good fights, actually. And yeah, so that's my picks. Make sure you like, subscribe, tune in, and I will be seeing you guys on the next one.